I want to talk about breaking down the walls that keep us trapped inside our own prison. I want to talk about what happens when life beats you down so hard that you start to believe you deserve the pain. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand in my own family, especially in my mom, who went through a chain of abusive relationships that nearly destroyed her. I want to share that story with you because it taught me a lesson I'll never forget. No matter how bad it gets, you still hold the keys to your freedom. I grew up with a horrible stutter. It didn't come out of nowhere. It was fueled by stress, toxic stress. My father was abusive. He broke us down, one slap, one cruel comment at a time. My mom used to be a confident, smart, attractive young woman, but in that violent home she lost touch with who she really was. She built up walls around her heart to survive, to protect herself from more pain. But those same walls became her prison. Let me tell you something. You might build walls to stay safe, but they can also lock you in. Before you know it, you're trapped inside your own mind, feeling worthless and ashamed, telling yourself you aren't good enough for anything better. You go out into the world, but you're not really living. You're just going through the motions, carrying around this heavy baggage that stops you from growing into the person you were born to be. I saw that happen to my mom. When we finally left my dad, she tried to start over, but she never really got free of his grip. She still carried his voice, his anger, his disrespect in her mind. She worked hard, earned a six-figure job at a great university, but in the mirror, she only saw a broken woman. No matter how much she achieved, she was still stuck in her personal prison because she never did the hard, conscious work to rebuild herself from the ground up. She ended up volunteering in a real prison, probably because she felt more comfortable in a place that matched how she felt on the inside, trapped. And guess what happened? She got engaged to a man who was in that prison for murder. After he got out, he moved into our house. Another disaster followed. Within 2 years, they were divorced. He relapsed and eventually died of an overdose. Shocking, right? But let's be real. This is what can happen when you keep ignoring that voice inside you that says, "Wake up, you deserve better." If you keep numbing yourself, keep walking through life on autopilot, you will keep repeating the same mistakes. You will pick the same kinds of people, fall into the same kinds of traps, and wonder why your life doesn't get better. So how do you break free? How do you smash those walls once and for all and build a life you love? Let me share a few lessons that helped me and could help you too. 1. Stop sugarcoating your pain. Stop acting like it doesn't matter. Face reality no matter how painful it is. My mom should have stood up for herself the first time she got hit, or at least the 12th or the 50th time. But she stayed in denial, and denial keeps you stuck. If you're in a toxic job, a toxic relationship, or see that you're self-destructing, look at it head on. Say it out loud. That's your first step. You can't fix what you refuse to see. 2. Perform a hard stop. Sometimes you don't need more encouragement or fake positivity. You need a full stop. In the military, we call it reorg. You drop to the ground, reorganize your gear, count your ammo, and see what you're really up against. In life, that means you stop going through the motions, take a hard look at your situation, and figure out where it's all heading. A hard stop is non-negotiable if you want to change. Things won't magically get better unless you do something about it. 3. Use your anger wisely. We often hear that anger is unhealthy, but let me tell you something. Controlled anger can be your best friend. I'm not talking about throwing punches or yelling curses on the street. I'm talking about that fire inside that says, I've had enough. The anger that makes you realize you deserve better. That anger can push you to wake up early, stay up late, and fight for your life. If you're stuck at rock bottom, anger can be the jolt that wakes you up. 4. Find the crack in the wall. Even when you feel completely trapped, there's always at least one crack in the wall. Maybe it's a friend who's willing to listen. Maybe it's a book that speaks to you. Maybe it's an old talent you've ignored for years. You have to scratch, claw, and fight to make that crack bigger. Don't expect it to be easy, expect it to hurt. But each time you widen that crack, you see a little more light. 5. Build a new foundation. Once you break free, you'll be standing in a debris field. Your old identity, old habits, old beliefs, all shattered. But now you have a clean slate. This is where you build a new foundation with intention. Don't just start piling bricks without a plan, or you'll end up in another prison. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? Write it down. Make it real. Then start building, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. 6. Know your worth. Self-worth isn't about what car you drive or how many likes you get on Instagram. It's about knowing deep down that you matter. When you don't believe you matter, you make poor decisions. You accept abusive partners. You stay in jobs that kill your spirit. You keep silent when people disrespect you. But when you believe in your own worth, you stand taller. You say no when you need to. You walk away from toxic environments. And guess what? Opportunities start opening up. 7. Stay hungry. Building a career, living a good life. None of it happens by accident. Too many people graduate, get a job, and think, I've made it. Then they wonder why their lives feel empty. Don't coast. Stay hungry. Keep pushing. The fight never ends. But that's not a bad thing. That fight builds you. It keeps you sharp. Look, I know life can be brutal. I know some of you have seen hardships you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. But you still have a chance to fight back. You still hold the keys. Yes, there are real prisons with bars and locked doors, but the prisons we build in our own minds can be even more dangerous. But here's the good news. Destruction always breathes creation. When you tear down the illusions that keep you stuck, you get to build something better. You get to rediscover who you are. So don't wait. Don't waste another minute. Every second you hesitate is another second you hand over to your mental prison. It's time to unlock that cell and walk out into the light. Decide. Right here. Right now. Keep fighting. Keep rising. And never forget, you hold the keys to your freedom.